Hello, County Farm Bureau leaders. We hope you're all doing well and are as anxious as some of the rest of us to get back to visiting with one another in person. As you know, we have an important election this fall for many positions in our local, state, and federal governments. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to some of the candidates running to become our next U.S. Senator upon the retirement of our longtime friend Lamar Alexander. 29 individuals registered and qualified to run with the Secretary of State. 15 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 9 independents. The 3 candidates that you'll hear from on this video were invited to participate based on the status of their campaign financial statements as of April the 7th of this year. We realize other candidates may have reached the required threshold since then, and as a result, we're including information in a handout on all of the major party candidates who registered and qualified for the election. Voting is a valued and important right, but it's also a responsibility. Choosing our next U.S. Senator is a crucial decision, and their service will have implications on our lives and country for years to come. It's a decision that we can't take lightly. We all need to be informed and knowledgeable voters. I encourage you to get to know the candidates and their positions on agricultural issues. We're hopeful that this video will save you a little time and provide insight as Farm Bureau leaders on how each candidate perceives Farm Bureau and Tennessee's agricultural industry. We encourage you to share this information with your board of directors and other farm and rural leaders in your counties. As always, we hope you'll reach out to us with your thoughts and questions, and again, we look forward to seeing you in person as soon as possible.
I'm Bill Hagerty, the only candidate for U.S. Senate in Tennessee who is endorsed by President Donald Trump. I was born in rural Tennessee. We had a small farm in Castellian Springs. When I was a boy, I raised pigs, cattle, baled hay, and served as the president of my FFA chapter. I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a businessman who's actually spent time on the farm and at the trade negotiating table. I'm running because President Trump needs an ally in the Senate who will stand with him and stand strong for the ag industry, who will support the right to life, our Second Amendment, and defend our freedoms from socialist liberals in Washington.
I'm James Mackler, a combat veteran and candidate for the United States Senate. From rural hospital closures to the opioid epidemic to the trade war, Tennessee is in a crisis and I'm stepping forward to serve. I've done it before. After we were attacked on 9/11, I closed my law practice, joined the Army, learned to fly Black Hawk helicopters, and did that in Iraq with the 101st Airborne Division. I'm running to do what's right, and I'll stand up to any president when they're wrong.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manny. I'm speaking with you today from a farm just nearby where I grew up in Hillsborough, Tennessee in Coffee County. My parents were both immigrants to this country, and they came here looking for a better life for their unborn children. I was born in America, raised in rural Tennessee, and rural Tennessee has made me who I am. It gave me my values of faith, family, and community.
There are nearly 1,000 bridges across Tennessee considered structurally deficient. For far too long, politicians in both parties have failed to make the investments we need in infrastructure. And thanks to them, we're all paying the price.
Kicking the can down the road not only puts our family's safety at risk, it costs us jobs and hurts Tennessee's economy.
There's common ground to fix our bridges and roadways and to invest in 21st century infrastructure like bringing broadband internet to rural Tennessee.
We can't do it when politicians like Mitch McConnell abuse their power directing dollars we need here in Tennessee to his campaign's biggest bankrollers.
No more secret deals, no more excuses, no more political fights. Democrats, Republicans, Donald Trump need to come together to get this done, to help the people they're elected to serve. It's time to invest in Tennessee's infrastructure.
I've lived my whole life based on my devotion to Jesus Christ. Matthew 9 teaches us the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. My whole life, I've tried to be a worker and make a difference. It led me to become a trauma surgeon, to create a nonprofit called Healthy Tennessee that's helped thousands of Tennesseans providing free health care across rural parts of our state. Now, I want to be your next United States Senator and make a different kind of difference. I married my high school sweetheart, Maya. We have 2 kids who love the Lord. I grew up living the American dream in Tennessee, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate to ensure that future generations of our state can do the same. One thing you'll learn about me is that I never forget where I came from. Farmers had a hand in raising me, and as your next U.S. Senator, I will always fight for farmers in Tennessee and across America.
If elected to the U.S. Senate, I will always fight for Tennesseans, and I'll focus on growing the economy. That includes pushing for advantageous trade agreements like the Japan trade deal, which I worked on for 2 years with President Trump while I was serving as the U.S. ambassador to Japan. The deal eliminates and reduces tariffs on 90% of all the ag products that we export to Japan, including beef, pork, poultry, and others. I'll always fight for our farmers and continue to work alongside President Trump to support trade deals that put the interest of American farmers first. Additionally, I'll fight to eliminate burdensome regulations that are crippling our farmers and our ag industry. Tennessee farmers don't need the government telling them what to do. And I'll work with President Trump to implement his America First agenda. I've earned the president's endorsement, and you can trust me to stand with him and to work effectively with him from day one.
Farmers in America need free and fair trade, and I applaud President Trump in renegotiating a major deal with China that allowed for American farming products to be sold at a fair price. As your next U.S. Senator, I will always fight for the American farmer and the world economy. We need to deregulate and cut red tape for our farmers. Look, as a doctor, I understand this. I've seen government get between me and my patients. As a farmer, you should be doing what you know best, and that's farming. I have seen Obamacare single-handedly ruin rural health care. It's driven premiums up, deductibles up. What we need is a free market-based system with pricing transparency. Farm Bureau has its own insurance product, which has been very successful, and I believe that we should allow the free market to provide those products. Our state motto is agriculture and commerce, and they truly go hand in hand. I'm a deep believer in agricultural technology. I believe that it can dramatically increase farming crop yields and allow farmers to financially benefit. No other place in the world is doing this right now, and I believe that if we invest in agricultural technology, America can lead the way. In Shelby County in particular, we have the Agri-Center. We have the infrastructure to do this. Paired with vocational, technical, and agricultural training, Tennessee could lead the nation in ag tech. Government should get out of the way of the farmers and let you do what you do best. I applaud President Trump in repealing the Waters of the United States rule. The government shouldn't be regulating every pond or puddle on your farm. As your next U.S. Senator, you have my solemn promise that I will fight these Washington insiders and these bureaucrats at places like the EPA that know nothing about farming. Rural broadband is an issue that is near and dear to my heart. There are places across our state, rural Tennessee, that do not have rural broadband. And here's the problem. For the longest time, we've considered this as a state or as a local issue, and we've tried to solve it with grants, but that's just not enough. Whether it's telemedicine or education or ag tech, the lack of rural broadband is holding back our farming communities and our rural communities. With the coronavirus stimulus plan, our federal deficit could reach $4.3 trillion, which is 20% of our gross domestic product. This debt to GDP ratio is not sustainable. This is a national security issue. We are saddling our kids, our grandkids, even our great-grandkids with debt that we can't afford to pay. And our enemies, like the communist Chinese government, well, they're coming around to buy this debt. And one day they'll come calling. We have to end this runaway spending. We have to bring discretionary spending under control. But to truly reform this runaway reckless spending, we have to talk about and reform government itself. We have to get rid of these Washington insiders, these career politicians and their pork barrel spending. That's why I strongly believe in term limits, and I will commit to you that I will serve no more than 2 terms in the United States Senate.
Throughout my campaign, I've sought to meet Tennesseans where they live and listen to what they need and aren't getting from Washington. That's the type of senator I'll be, one who listens and acts. I won't know every challenge facing Tennessee farmers today or the ones you'll be facing years from now without your help. I hope this is the start of a long dialogue that will continue when I'm serving you in Washington. My door will always be open. What I have heard traveling across Tennessee is that the president's trade war of choice made it harder for you to sell your products. Because we're part of a world economy, that means some of those markets won't be coming back. And elected officials need to help, because some of those relationships took years to build. Farmers shouldn't bear the burden of someone else's political feud. We need to have trade deals that put you and your colleagues on an equal playing field to compete fairly in a global economy. And when bad actors act badly, we need to work with our allies to punish them. I'm a combat veteran, and I know the importance of having strong alliances. We need a regulatory environment that helps you do your job and helps ensure future generations can do the same. And when it comes up for reauthorization, which it will in my first Senate term, we absolutely need a fully funded farm bill with a level of investment that reflects the importance of rural America to our entire economy. We must invest in our rural roots and reinvigorate those vibrant communities. That means investments in rural broadband, infrastructure, community health centers, and rural education. We shouldn't be lacking in any of those areas, and folks should have the ability to live and work where they want to. We need full investments in programs to open foreign markets, like the Market Access Program, the Foreign Market Development Program, the Emerging Markets Program, and the Technical Assistance for Specialty Crops Program. I believe in fiscal responsibility and investing in people. They're not mutually exclusive. When taxes are too high or unfair to too many, we need to take a hard look at them. But we can't ever sacrifice investments in things we need because somebody else needs another unpaid for tax cut. It's no secret we need to diversify our energy sources to shore up our supply and guarantee our energy security. We have the ingenuity and the capability to solve big problems, but we can't get there when one party is dedicated to denying the existence of the problem. Between the research happening here in Tennessee at Oak Ridge National Laboratories and so many people like you, Tennessee is positioned to lead the way in what could be our next economic boom. We're going to need workers to do all this work, and I support the approach taken in 2013 to address comprehensive immigration reform. When the Farm Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, American Farm Workers Union, and 68 senators, as different as Lamar Alexander, Bob Corker, Marco Rubio, John Tester, and Elizabeth Warren all support something, you know it was a full team bipartisan effort to get something done. While there are no guarantees when it comes to committee assignments for freshman senators, I'll ask for a seat on the Senate Ag Committee because Tennesseans need a voice and a seat at the table for you and our $81 billion agricultural sector. Again, I hope this is the start of a long and productive relationship. I'm James Mackler, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I hope to earn your vote and represent you in the United States Senate.
While much of the economy has been booming, our farmers have seen a slump. And now with the coronavirus's effect on the economy, it's been exacerbated. There's no question that the Wuhan virus has taken a toll on our economy. However, President Trump and his administration have been working around the clock. And the president has asked me to join that effort as a member of the White House Economic Advisory Board. Our aim is to bring back jobs and economic growth for Tennessee and for the nation. As the president has said several times, we'll get through this, but it will take all of us working together to do so. And afterward, we'll need to rebuild our economy. To that end, the Department of Treasury, the Small Business Administration, and the Department of Agriculture are offering financial relief. But there must be more done to help our farmers. As your senator, I'll work to deliver a farm bill for farmers. I'll also work with President Trump to create fair trade deals, like I did in Japan, so we can export more of our agricultural products with little or no tariffs. As a businessman, I have the skill set and the experience needed to help get our economy back on the right track. And as a person who knows his way around a barn, as well as around a trade negotiating table, I'll put the interest of Tennessee farmers first. Ensuring a level playing field for our Tennessee businesses and industries is one of my top priorities. America's farmers are the most innovative and the most productive in the world. Creating a level playing field through fair and reciprocal trade agreements will result in more open markets, create more good-paying jobs, and strengthen our economy. As President Trump's ambassador to Japan, I worked closely with him to negotiate the Japan trade deal, which the Farm Bureau hailed as a welcome win for farmers. Under our leadership, Japan eliminated or provided the most advantageous possible terms for more than 90% of the agricultural products we export there. This includes our sales of beef, pork, poultry, cheese, and more. Japan is a huge market for Tennessee farmers, and this trade agreement strengthens our relationship with the third largest economy in the world. In the Senate, I'll fight for greater market access, reciprocal terms, and overall fairness that will result in great gains for Tennessee farmers. And I'll work alongside President Trump to help create trade deals that put American farmers first. Getting our federal government spending in order is incredibly important. Your family balances your checkbook every month, and I strongly believe the federal government should too. But extreme liberals in Washington want to implement a socialist healthcare plan that will cost over $50 trillion. The Green New Deal would cost over $90 trillion. That's why we need true conservative leadership, capable of standing up to the Democrat socialist agenda. In the Senate, I'll work closely with President Trump to cut frivolous spending. We should cut the corporate tax rate so we can continue to create more jobs, bring more companies onshore, and make permanent these tax cuts that will grow our economy. And I'll fight to pass a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. I'll support no budget, no pay legislation. It's time for Washington to get its out-of-control spending in order. As your senator, I'll work with President Trump to stop the Socialist Democrats from recklessly spending your hard-earned money. We've provided more detail on these questions on our website, teamhaggerty.com. And if there's anything you'd like to know that we didn't cover, I hope you'll reach out to me. My address is bill@teamhaggerty.com. I'm the only candidate in this race with the complete and total endorsement of President Trump. I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a businessman who's actually spent time on the farm and at the trade negotiating table. Together, we'll work hard to support our farmers, defend the right to life, preserve our constitutional rights from the threat of socialist Democrats, confirm more constitutionalist judges, and protect our conservative way of life. Thank you for your time, and I humbly ask you for your support.
If you want somebody with the courage to stand up for what's right and stand up to Donald Trump when he's wrong, please join me. I'm James Mackler, a veteran, a prosecutor, a proud father and husband. I'm in this race to win, and with your help, we can make it happen.
I'm Dr. Manny Sethi, and I'm running for the United States Senate. And if you're tired of Washington insiders and politicians, and you want someone who's going to help President Trump open up the world economy to farmers in Tennessee, to curb runaway spending, to end needless regulations, well, I'm asking for your vote and I'm asking for your support. You know, 40 years ago, the farmers in Coffee County gave my parents, 2 immigrants from India, a chance. You opened your hearts and you opened your doors, and look what happened next. I became a trauma surgeon. I have lived the American dream. And 40 years later, this kid from rural Coffee County, who's never run for anything, not even student council, I'm asking you today to believe in me. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Manny Sethi. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.